Hey everyone, that's Alex Gatz and Anthony DiMorsico, and that's Banksy News Podcast. And that was a crazy week. And today we're going to discuss so many things that happened last week. So, something happened with Circle, something happened with Silicon Valley Bank. So many things happened. And let's start from very first news. And the main news of the week is that Silicon Valley Bank was shuttered by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation on Friday, marking the second bank to shut down within days. Anthony, what's your thoughts about that?
I feel like there's kind of a lot to digest it because all this happened over the weekend. Obviously, the Silicon Valley Bank started on Thursday night into Friday, but then over the weekend we heard about Signature Bank as well. So there's definitely a lot of trickle-down effects happening from SVB going under. The FDIC took them over as of this morning. This has affected numerous startups. I mean, I think thousands of startups had their money with SVB, and also at the same time, Signature is going under, which is a very crypto-friendly bank, and Silvergate we talked about last week as well. So what happened over the weekend is crazy. It's just it's elongating what happened last weekend. I think we're going to kind of see where this brings things, but ironically, at the same time, I saw that Bitcoin, the price of crypto, is actually going up right now because the Fed, investors actually think that the Fed will stop interest rate hikes. So that actually might be good for crypto investors that are investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and what have it. So there's a lot to digest, and we'll see what happens here. But I think it's good that everything was FDIC insured, and clients now, I know like Circle, who is the primary issuer of USDC, was scared that their $3.3 billion would be lost as of today. But the FDIC insured that money. They actually made another bank today that will, so all deposits are basically going through today. So I don't think the fall will be as bad, but this is similar to what happened in 2008 with Washington Mutual and kind of the start of the banking crisis then. But obviously, I think regulators have learned what's happened since then, and we can maybe not make that big of a mistake again, I hope, because that was a pretty devastating financial crisis, which happened 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Silvergate was first, and now we have Silicon Valley Bank. And actually, about the situation of Silicon Valley Bank, if you will check it, 65,000 startups were affected by that. That's a crazy number. And actually, CNBC had a talk with Gary Tan, who is the CEO of Y Combinator. So Y Combinator is one of the biggest venture fund and also accelerator. So like really a lot of startups are Y Combinator alumni, let's say. And he told CNBC that over 1,000 Y Combinator companies have been impacted. And when you think, like, I mean, 1,000 companies is big, but when you think about Silicon Valley Bank is bigger than BNP Paribas, which is one of the biggest banks as well. So the capitalization of Silicon Valley is 3 times higher than BNP Paribas. That's just crazy. But yeah, as you mentioned, that Silicon Valley Bank clients can fully access funds, and that's a cool thing. So I have some notes about this. So the new bridge bank called Silicon Valley Bank NA, which will be operated by the FDIC, will have normal opening hours, and customers have been automatically switched. The regulator said in a statement on Monday, all depositors of the institution will be made whole. The FDIC said no losses associated with the resolution of Silicon Valley Bank will be borne by taxpayers.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching another article this morning actually about how, because Silicon Valley Bank has actual brick and mortar places, and they literally have like a line of CEOs and investors that were at their literally standing in line to get into a brick and mortar bank to talk to someone, because again, it happened on Friday. Today's Monday morning. These little startups have so much money and investors' money in this bank, and they're like, where is this going? How do I operate my company with my funds being held in Silicon Valley Bank? So I think, like you said, at least they made a bridge bank today and people will be able to access their money. But I'm sure the next few days, I wouldn't want to be working at Silicon Valley Bank right now. I mean, it'd be horrible. I'd walk out right now probably, because I mean, all these angry, CEOs and clients coming up to you, where's my money?
That's really crazy, the situation. And sorry, you keep going.
I would say more on the taxpayer thing. I know like back in 2008, a lot of that, all the executives, everyone just got a nice big fat handout. Hey, here's the rest of your money. Taxpayers will pay for it. So I think it's good to hear that it won't affect the taxpayers. And I heard also that executives aren't going to get these handouts for, leaving. They kind of have to deal with the situation they were dealt. So I guess we'll kind of see what happens here.
Actually, I wanted to ask you, because in Europe and UK, we talk about Silicon Valley Bank situation. Like every hour I get a bunch of news, like everyone is talking about. LinkedIn is just bloated with, comments and, the predictions, forecasts. How is it in States right now? So what people are saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to, it's 10 or 12 o'clock here, noon in Boston. So it's this whole morning I've been on LinkedIn and all these news sources trying to digest what's happening. And I think people are just they're just trying to make sure their money is whole and they have the money that they put in the bank. But I think, like you said, it's kind of every hour something's coming out, either it be a bank or a cryptocurrency exchange or even the Fed themselves, the Treasury, anyone in all these different segments of banking is coming out to give their insight on what's happening. And in all, I hope that people's clients' funds are protected. I think that's the end goal here, is that people's funds are okay. And even given like USDC, which is a stable coin, it's not depegged here. So there's so much fallout, but we're just hearing new news all the time. And I think we'll obviously have more to say about this next week as well.
Yeah, actually, you just said about USDC and it's stable coin issued by Circle. What happens during the weekend is crazy. So actually, stablecoin is the biggest. USDC is the biggest stablecoin when you talk about volume and capitalization, and it was traded for 85 cents, as I remember, during the weekend. So the bottom line. So that's just when you think. Do you want to read a comment about that?
Yeah, so this is the USD stablecoin regains dollar peg after Silicon Valley Bank induced chaos, as we just talked about the insanity over the weekend. So the USDC stablecoin regained its peg to the US dollar, according to CoinGecko, after falling below the $1 value it was supposed to hold, as the federal banking and finance regulator said on Sunday that all depositors in Silicon Valley Bank will be made whole and have access to their funds on Monday. Circle later acknowledged that about $3.3 billion, or about 8% of the overall funds backing USDC, were held in Silicon Valley Bank. I know that I get quick updates from Circle, and I was reading all their emails over the weekend, and I remember reading this at a party on Saturday, and I literally went in the corner because I had to read it, because I was like, wow, what's happening with Circle? They have $3.3 billion of money in Silicon Valley Bank. That'd be a huge hit if they wouldn't be allowed.
8% of their reserves.
That's crazy. That's so much money. So it's good that it was made whole and they're allowed to get that money.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not 8% of the reserves. It's actually 8% of the overall funds backing USDC is in Silicon Valley Bank. Now that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, are you using more Circle, right, than Tether?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really use Tether as much. I definitely use USDC primarily, and I always thought it was they try to be the most transparent and the most trusted stablecoin. That's what I like about them, and they're obviously, I think they back around 78% in treasuries and the rest in cash. So obviously they had 8%, which is, you say percent is, but you're like, wow, it's actually $3.3 billion worth of money held in a bank. But I think it's just good. But there's always a risk too. You don't really think about how much a risk is associated with it, because when one of these financial institutions falls down, that could collapse other things with it. So it's good that it was made whole again and it was brought back to its 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, that's right. I have some interesting statistics here and some notes. So Deloitte's accounting report of Circle, published on March 2nd, indicated that Circle held cash with the following banks as of January 2023. Bank of New York Mellon, Citizens Trust Bank, Customers Bank, New York Community Bank, a division of Fluxter Bank N.A., Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, and Silvergate Bank. And according to Circle Transparency page, 43 billion USDC in circulation with 43 billion in reserves. 11 billion, or 26% of all USDC reserves, are held in the form of cash, as you mentioned, at reserve banks such as Silicon Valley and Silvergate. Which, imagine how stressed they are there right now.
Yeah.
And what is great that our clients in Banxe are not stressed about that, because we've never been a client of Silicon Valley Bank. We never partnered with them. And I believe that that's a good news for our current customers and our potential customers. When you use Banxe, you're in safe hands, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think the good thing about obviously Banksy is we have a different license, or an EMI based out of the UK, and all of your funds are held in a segregated account. So it's not like with these other banks where, hey, it's in the bank, it dissolves, there goes your money, your account, your money is held in a separate account. But to what you just said, it's crazy that Circle had held money in Silicon Valley and Silvergate, and then Signature actually went down today too, but they didn't hold any money in Signature as well. So it's good to hear that, but it's a big downfall. I think the same thing, people just withdrawing all their cash because there's uncertainty right now. They're like, where's my money? Where's it going to be? Even if it's in a crypto exchange, I'm holding a stablecoin, where is that money ultimately held? And people are freaking out, so they're just withdrawing their stablecoins right now, hence USDC, which is Circle, try to get their money back.
Do you believe that we will observe the next crisis like 2008?
I've been thinking...
Hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, I've been thinking about it since I woke up this morning. I certainly hope not. I think we hopefully learned our lesson from 15 years ago, and there are certain regulations and rules set in place that will hopefully help out, and we won't have as much of a downfall. We'll see what's to come.
They've been printing money for almost 3 years, actually, because of the COVID. So we'll see. I mean, honestly, the situation in the world is not really stable right now. We have war in Ukraine. We have unstable economical issues in Europe, especially, and UK right now experienced the highest inflation in last decades. In States, we have top startup banks that are just crashing down. So something happening which really, hopefully, it's not going to get worse.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, I think, I know this started back with the Luna crisis, then you had FTX, and it's like every week you have something new, and I hope it stops, but it seems like it's like a downward spiral. And like you said, there's other macroeconomic effects that are definitely contributing to this downfall. So
But that's good for us because we have something to discuss, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good or bad, we have something.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, let's go to some more positive news. Meta Platforms, the parent company of Facebook, right, is working on decentralized text-based app, according to a report by TechCrunch on Friday. The app will be a standalone product for sharing text updates. Sounds like decentralized Twitter, to be honest. I don't see the market for them. There is no demand for text messages. We have Telegram, we have Twitter, we have Discord, we have Reddit, we have LinkedIn, so many. We don't need one more solution, even if it's decentralized. I don't believe that there will be demand on the market for that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, in our company as well, we already use a number of platforms to communicate with each other, and I don't think you really need to add many more. But I mean, it is Meta, so I mean, they do know that they do know what they're talking about. They have Instagram, they have Facebook. I think we'll see what's to come, but I don't think it'll be that good.
Yeah. So do you? I will read the next article because it will be hard for you. No, it will be just hard for you to pronounce the surname. I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
So the NFT company Palm teams with Ex-Riot to foster activist art. So Nadia Tolokonnikova will teach an activist masterclass on the Palm Network's educational platform and curate a feminist art contest through the Palm DAO during NFT New York. So Nadia Tolokonnikova, as I was explaining to you, Anthony, she's really popular activist and artist from Russia. As I remember, she was in prison because of her actions against the government. So she's pretty popular in Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and all the post-Soviet countries, especially. And also, she's well known in Eastern Europe. So that's just an interesting news that she is partnering with Palm Network platform.
I mean, hey, I feel like maybe she's getting good publicity by being in jail and kind of what she's created. And so that some people do that, you know, they have a bad rap, but they use that they use that as a good platform to get their name out and create something of it.
I'm just wondering if Navalny, the main opposite politician, will create some decentralized NFT.
Yeah.
So anyway, next level of political activity, right? Okay, let's go to more friendly topic. Anthony, please.
Starbucks, which I try not to get every day because I feel like they put crack in their coffee to make you drink it. But so Starbucks to launch its first premier NFTs at $100 a pop. So coffee giant Starbucks is taking significant steps in the Web3 with a Starbucks Odyssey rewards program on the Ethereum side chain network Polygon, which is currently open in beta to limited users. And after dropping a few free reward NFTs to early adopters, it's set to launch its very first paid collectible. So like I said, Sasha and I, we get Starbucks like every day. I think it'd be kind of cool. I think it's cool where they're going. I mean, I think it's overpriced, their coffee in general, but where they're going in this space is pretty neat. I think they're trying to even dabble in the NFT sphere.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, I'm not drinking Starbucks, to be honest. I don't like their coffee, but I guess I'm not supposed to say that because maybe one day we will partner with Starbucks. They will see that podcast and tell me that, oh, you're not drinking our coffee. No, but anyway, I mean, I don't see this, in my opinion, I don't see the sense of that right now. So because it was a beta, maybe because it will be launched right now, I will understand the idea of this marketing campaign because definitely they're trying to reach a younger audience with that. I mean, and Starbucks has always been like a student cafe, right? So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So let's go to Coinbase. The next thing is about Coinbase. So Coinbase announces wallet as a service. So it is a set of developer tools that allow companies to embed custom digital wallets directly in their applications. The goal is to make setting up a wallet as easy as creating a username and password. Coinbase said, avoiding the technical nature of most standalone digital wallets today. What do you think? I mean, I believe that that's a great thing and it would really help to adopt cryptocurrency on the market. And if it's really will work that easy as they trying to present that, then that just sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, I think Coinbase is always trying to do some good things in the crypto sphere. So this kind of just is adding to their, workspace of things they've brought out to the public so far.
That's right. So do you want to share the next news about Adidas with us?
So Adidas profit drops 83%. The company's chief financial officer, Harm Al-Amir, attributed the losses to a few factors. The end of the Yezel deal, the company closed its stores in Russia after it invaded Ukraine in early 2022, and sales dropped of 36% in China, attributed to COVID lockdowns. So as we kind of discussed earlier, you have these macroeconomic situations such as wars and COVID all happening, and obviously this had some sort of effect on Adidas' profit that drops 83%. That's a significant amount.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, the thing that happened was easy. It was Kanye West. The guy got insane, unfortunately, and they had really, he's a booster. They're really cool stickers, in my opinion, and I just don't want to buy them anymore. I mean, because of Kanye West, or how you call him right now. Yeah, right.
I don't know. I call him, I'm not very in with the pop culture. I just call him Kanye West. I don't know. I think we have some.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, nothing to discuss here. Be careful with your income streams, guys.
Yep.
All right, so Ex-Riot Games Execs raise 55 million for new studio and say no fucking thanks to NFTs. That's actually funny because you know that they actually raised this money from crypto funds. Yeah, but so yeah, here's the note. We say no fucking thanks to NFT, Snow said. These technologies are struggling in games because players aren't asking for them, and no one as of yet has shown how they can make a game more fun. And I agree with this guy. We've been on Web Summit, we've been on Solana, I've been in a number of other conferences. Everyone is presenting games with NFT, and honestly, there's zero demand for NFT in games. When I play FIFA, I play for fun, not for collectibles of NFT. I don't care about, because they, in my opinion, right now, the developers and the marketing departments of game studios, they don't really understand that the value of collectibles in the game, of the achievements, etc., is not in a price. It's all about your own feelings. Because when you get a team of gold cards in FIFA, you understand it doesn't matter for a price for you anymore. You really love that you have the team of, super cool players, and that's for every game. And in some games, you just don't need that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I'm not a huge gamer, but I will play like a sports game like FIFA or NFL or NHL, kind of things like that. And like you said, we've been to all these events and we see it all the time. I mean, it looks cool. Like you see all these crazy screens, people playing games, like, to get it. But then we've like tried them out and I play it. I'm like, okay, that wasn't really that fun or cool at all. Like, why would I want to keep doing this? So I'm glad someone is kind of, I guess, coming out and saying it to the public. But I'm sure there'll still be a certain segment of people that will still play for NFTs as a collectible.
Yeah. So yeah, and actually the Ex-Riot Games executives, so they raised this 55 million from Lightspeed Ventures and Andreessen Horowitz. So the major investors in Web3 space, right? So I mean, that's interesting. So I mean, I understand how they convince them to invest. And that's actually really great positioning in my opinion, but they need to be careful because maybe they can be a market. I mean, we seen I forgot the name of the walking app, which was super hyped like a year ago, I guess. You understand what I want?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name unfortunately on my dash, but yeah, that's the case.
Yes. Yeah. I think they actually, I feel like they partnered with like New Balance or someone, because we actually saw the shoe at one of the summits. I think it was New Balance.
That was a partnership of Solana and Reebok, I think.
But it was something like walking related, where you got points for walking. Okay.
Yeah, but I forgot the name of the app.
Yeah,
a lot of them. They partnered with number of number of platforms actually right now. But we'll see. I mean, yeah, NFT can be fun, but you need to be careful. I mean, for example, the games like Pokemon Go. Do you remember this game? I believe that NFT can be a good addition to this kind of games. But when you play Call of Duty, when you play FIFA, when you play, I don't know what we have Harry Potter Legacy or whatever the name of the game, and you don't need NFT there, in my opinion. You need viral mechanics, you need to have fun. You demand not NFT, you demand fun. Remember about that when you create games, please. All right. Almost last news. So Bank of Scotland offers personalized gambling limits. Bank of Scotland customers can set personalized monthly limits on how much they spend each month on gambling using their debit card. So instead of fighting gambling, they decided to lead gambling.
Yeah, this whole gambling thing, I mean, it's scary. I mean, I think they're obviously doing it for tax reasons, like, hey, here's some money from gambling, but it's probably clearly pretty easy to get hooked on the whole gambling thing. I know it's funny, here in Boston, they just legalized online betting on like Monday. So you can literally bet on anything you want, any sport, and like all my friends are downloading every app possible. But it's funny because when you do it, there's at the bottom like a 1-800 number if you get addicted to gambling. So it's kind of strange and funny because I'm like, you guys are all going to get addicted to it. I mean, why wouldn't you just keep spending all your money? You might lose one, win another one, and spend all your money.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know a lot of people who lost thousands and thousands of money by betting for football, basketball, tennis, etc. So it was really a big thing a few years ago in Ukraine, in Poland. Like everyone been betting all the time. Like you've been watching a box, then you need to bet, right? So all the time, and they've been saying, yeah, it makes the game more fun. No, it's just more riskier for you. You have the adrenaline, and you understand that if you lose, it's not just someone losing; it's just you losing money. So, and you have some fun when you win, but that's actually it's not the way to make money. It's only the way, like the casino never lose. Casino always win. You need to remember about that. And any betting app is a casino, and they will never let you win.
I agree. And I mean, here, I guess it's a good thing. Like, I mean, I guess if you could walk into a bank and you're gambling and set a limit for yourself, I guess it's a good thing so you don't lose all. But I'm sure you go back in the next month and change the limit again. So
yeah, I don't see the sense here. I mean, so you have if you have a limit, you can change it anytime. Or maybe you need the confirmation of, third party to change the limits as well. Also can be a solution.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Anthony, do you want to finish our podcast with where we last?
Yeah. So last headline we have is EU merchants could be required to accept digital euro, ministers told. So.
Yeah, so actually, I will give you some information about that. So because we don't have notes here for some reason. So yeah, I mean, people, it's our second podcast, and in my opinion, it's much better than it was last time. But still, we need to do some adjustments next time. So yeah, there is a document that it's just a project of the document actually. So that is discussed right now in Europe about getting the CBDC to equalize them to e-money and to cash. So any store will be obliged to accept digital euro. So that's pretty interesting. That definitely will make the crypto adoption faster. So the crypto will be adopted faster because of that. But still, digital euro is not cryptocurrency. We need to understand.
Right.
It's a little bit different. We actually can create a video about that. What's the difference between cryptocurrency and government-backed digital currencies?
Yep.
So that's just an interesting thing. So I mean, if you're a crypto project right now in Europe, you probably will love this one. And remember that if you operate with cryptocurrency or you want to start operate with cryptocurrency, Banxe is the solution for you. You can open a business account with us. You can accept cryptocurrencies. You can accept fiat money. You can make SEPA transfers, SWIFT, faster payments for UK and jobs as well. So we have 500 cryptocurrencies. So don't hesitate, contact us and open an account on Banxe. Anthony, do you want to say something in that?
Yeah, I mean, I just had a quick comment about, I back in the day when I started getting into crypto, I would see these CBDCs and you kind of get excited about it. Like, hey, these countries are actually moving towards crypto. But like you mentioned, there is definitely a big differential between crypto and central backed digital currencies. They clearly are still run by the Federal Reserve. So the point of cryptocurrencies is to be decentralized and not have any central form of governing parties in there. So it is good to know that difference. We will probably make a video on that for sure on YouTube. So be sure to check our YouTube channel. And as Alex said, we are here to service any and all businesses. So please, thank you for listening. This is our second time, so bear with us, but thanks for listening. And we'll definitely looking forward to making another one next week, which I'm sure we'll have a lot more news on this, big Silvergate signature, Silicon Valley Bank fallout that happened during this week, because I'm sure there'll be a lot more trickle-down effect happening from it.
That's true. Anthony, thank you. Thank you for being here today with me. Thank you to our listeners. This podcast is weekly, so expect the next episode next Tuesday. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
See you later.